What if that bowl of oatmeal sitting in the pantry could be the key to clearing clogged arteries naturally? Stick around, because this simple breakfast hack might just save a life, maybe even our own, and the science behind it is absolutely fascinating. Welcome back to Health Bloom, where we explore practical health solutions that actually work for folks over 40 who want to live vibrant, energetic lives without complicated medical interventions or expensive treatments that drain bank accounts. Today's topic hits close to home for millions of people dealing with high cholesterol, arterial plaque buildup, and the constant worry about heart attacks or strokes that keep them up at night, wondering if they're doing enough to protect their most vital organ.
Before diving deep into this oatmeal revelation, hitting that like button helps this channel reach more people who need simple, science-backed health advice. And subscribing ensures these practical tips show up in the feed every single week when new episodes drop. The subscription bell icon matters too, because YouTube's algorithm works in mysterious ways, and turning on notifications guarantees nobody misses out on health information that could genuinely extend lifespan and improve quality of life dramatically. This episode unpacks exactly how a specific type of oatmeal preparation can reduce arterial plaque, lower dangerous cholesterol levels, and potentially reverse decades of cardiovascular damage without prescription medications or invasive procedures that scare most people away from taking action.
So let's talk about what's really happening inside those arteries right now. The cardiovascular system contains over 60,000 miles of blood vessels, and every single day these highways transport oxygen, nutrients, and essential compounds to every cell in the body, making them indispensable for survival. When plaque begins accumulating on artery walls, it's like rush hour traffic getting worse year after year, until eventually the highway becomes so congested that nothing can move through efficiently anymore. And that's when heart attacks and strokes become frighteningly real possibilities. The medical term for this condition is atherosclerosis, and it develops gradually over decades, starting as early as childhood in some cases, building up silently without symptoms until one morning someone clutches their chest or can't move their arm and realizes something terribly wrong has been brewing beneath the surface for years.
Here's where conventional wisdom gets things partially wrong about cholesterol and heart disease. Most people believe that eating fatty foods directly clogs arteries, like grease poured down a kitchen sink. But the relationship between dietary choices and cardiovascular health operates through more complex mechanisms involving inflammation, oxidative stress, and metabolic dysfunction. Cholesterol itself isn't the villain it's been made out to be for the past 5 decades. The body produces cholesterol naturally because every cell membrane needs it for structural integrity. Hormone production relies on it, and the brain contains massive amounts of this supposedly dangerous substance, performing critical functions every moment of existence. The problem arises when low-density lipoprotein cholesterol, commonly called LDL or bad cholesterol, becomes oxidized and damaged through inflammation, causing the immune system to respond by sending white blood cells to repair the arterial lining, which ironically creates the perfect environment for plaque formation and arterial narrowing.
Now, here's where oatmeal enters the picture, with its remarkable ability to interrupt this destructive cycle. Oats contain a special type of soluble fiber called beta-glucan, and this compound has been studied extensively in over 40 clinical trials spanning 3 decades, producing consistently impressive results for cardiovascular health improvement. Beta-glucan works through multiple mechanisms simultaneously, making it far more powerful than most people realize when they casually eat a bowl of oatmeal without understanding the biochemical magic happening inside their digestive tract within hours of that first spoonful hitting the stomach. The first mechanism involves bile acid binding. When beta-glucan travels through the small intestine, it forms a thick gel-like substance that literally traps bile acids, which are compounds the liver creates from cholesterol to help digest fats. And normally, these bile acids get recycled back into circulation to be used again and again.
But when beta-glucan captures these bile acids and escorts them out of the body through bowel movements, the liver suddenly faces a shortage and must produce more bile acids to replace what was lost, pulling cholesterol directly from the bloodstream to manufacture new supplies, thereby lowering circulating cholesterol levels significantly. Research from the Cleveland Clinic demonstrates that consuming just 1.5 cups of cooked oatmeal daily can reduce total cholesterol levels by 5 to 8% within weeks. And while that might not sound dramatic initially, compounded over months and years, this reduction translates to substantially lower cardiovascular disease risk. A comprehensive meta-analysis published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition examined 28 randomized controlled trials involving thousands of participants and confirmed that consuming at least 3 grams of oat beta-glucan daily reduces LDL cholesterol by approximately 6% compared to control groups eating similar diets without this magical fiber.
For someone with high cholesterol numbers hovering around 240 milligrams per deciliter, that 6% reduction means dropping cholesterol by roughly 14 points, potentially moving them from high-risk territory into moderate-risk categories without touching a prescription bottle or experiencing medication side effects. The second mechanism involves reducing cholesterol absorption in the intestines. When food containing cholesterol enters the digestive system, the intestinal lining normally absorbs a significant portion of it into the bloodstream, contributing to elevated blood cholesterol levels that accelerate plaque formation and arterial damage over time. Beta-glucan interferes with this absorption process by creating a physical barrier that prevents cholesterol molecules from reaching the intestinal wall, essentially blocking their entry into circulation and forcing them to exit the body unused, which means less cholesterol available for plaque formation inside artery walls.
But wait, there's more happening beyond just cholesterol reduction. Beta-glucan possesses powerful anti-inflammatory properties that directly combat the underlying inflammatory processes driving atherosclerosis development, and inflammation has emerged as perhaps the most critical factor in cardiovascular disease progression, according to cutting-edge research from leading heart health institutions. Chronic low-grade inflammation damages the delicate endothelial lining of blood vessels, creating microscopic injuries that trigger the immune response responsible for plaque formation. And anything that reduces systemic inflammation essentially provides protection against this initial step in the disease process before cholesterol even becomes relevant. Studies demonstrate that regular oat consumption decreases markers of inflammation, including C-reactive protein, interleukin-6, and tumor necrosis factor alpha, all of which play significant roles in cardiovascular disease development, and these anti-inflammatory benefits occur independent of cholesterol-lowering effects, providing additional protective mechanisms working simultaneously. Now, here comes the hack part that most people miss entirely when eating oatmeal. Not all oatmeal preparations deliver equal amounts of active beta-glucan, and the way oats get processed, prepared, and consumed dramatically impacts how much of this beneficial fiber actually reaches the intestines in its most effective form for maximum health benefits. Instant oatmeal packets, while convenient and shelf-stable, undergo significant processing that breaks down the beta-glucan structure, reducing its viscosity and gel-forming ability, which directly diminishes the cholesterol-lowering and health-promoting properties that make oats so valuable for cardiovascular protection in the first place. Steel-cut oats and thick-rolled oats maintain much more of the beta-glucan structure intact, providing superior health benefits compared to instant varieties. And the preparation method matters tremendously for maximizing the therapeutic effects people seek when specifically eating oatmeal for heart health improvement rather than just breakfast satisfaction. Here's the specific hack backed by nutritional science research. Soaking oats overnight in cold water or milk before cooking them the next morning activates enzymes that enhance beta-glucan bioavailability, making this compound more accessible and effective at binding cholesterol and bile acids throughout the digestive tract for maximum health impact. This overnight soaking also initiates a fermentation process that begins breaking down phytic acid, an anti-nutrient that can interfere with mineral absorption. And while phytic acid isn't necessarily harmful for most people, reducing it allows the body to better absorb the zinc, magnesium, and iron naturally present in oats alongside the beneficial fiber. The optimal ratio for this preparation involves 1 cup of thick-rolled oats or steel-cut oats to 2 cups of liquid, whether using water, regular milk, almond milk, or any preferred option, and letting this mixture sit covered in the refrigerator for at least 8 hours, but preferably 12 to 16 hours for maximum benefit.
The next morning, those pre-soaked oats cook faster, require less energy, and develop a creamier texture that many people find more appealing than traditionally prepared oatmeal, while simultaneously delivering higher concentrations of active beta-glucan, ready to work its cardiovascular magic immediately upon entering the digestive system. To reach the 3 grams of beta-glucan recommended by the Food and Drug Administration for cholesterol reduction, consuming approximately 75 grams of whole oats daily typically provides sufficient amounts, which translates to roughly 1 cup of cooked oatmeal prepared from half a cup of dry oats soaked overnight, using the method described above. Adding specific ingredients to this soaked oatmeal can amplify the arterial clearing effects even further. Ground flaxseed contributes additional omega-3 fatty acids that reduce inflammation and improve arterial flexibility, while providing lignans that possess antioxidant properties protecting against oxidative damage that initiates atherosclerosis development in the first place.
Walnuts contain the highest concentration of plant-based omega-3 fatty acids among all nuts, and impressive research demonstrates that regular walnut consumption can reduce atherosclerotic plaque development by up to 55% in animal studies, suggesting powerful synergistic effects when combined with oat beta-glucan for comprehensive cardiovascular protection. Cinnamon deserves special mention because this humble spice contains compounds that help regulate blood sugar levels, reducing insulin resistance, which has emerged as arguably the most significant driver of atherosclerosis and cardiovascular disease in modern populations, according to preventative medicine specialists studying root causes of arterial plaque formation. Fresh berries, particularly blueberries, strawberries, and blackberries, pack extraordinary concentrations of anthocyanins and other polyphenols that reduce oxidative stress, improve endothelial function, and decrease inflammation throughout the cardiovascular system, providing additional protective mechanisms that complement the cholesterol-lowering effects of oat beta-glucan beautifully.
The beauty of this oatmeal hack lies in its simplicity and accessibility. No expensive supplements, no complicated meal plans, no dramatic lifestyle overhauls that feel overwhelming and unsustainable for busy people juggling careers, families, and countless other responsibilities that make elaborate health interventions practically impossible to maintain long-term. Just 1 bowl of properly prepared oatmeal daily, eaten consistently over weeks and months, can produce measurable improvements in cholesterol levels, arterial inflammation markers, and overall cardiovascular health that show up clearly in blood test results, making believers out of skeptics who thought heart disease progression was inevitable and irreversible. Clinical studies demonstrate that these benefits appear within 3 to 4 weeks of daily oat consumption, and the effects continue improving with sustained consumption over 6 to 12 weeks, eventually plateauing at maximum benefit levels that can be maintained indefinitely as long as the oatmeal habit continues without prolonged interruptions.
What about people already taking statin medications for high cholesterol? The research indicates that adding oat beta-glucan to existing treatment regimens produces additive benefits, allowing some individuals to reduce medication dosages under physician supervision while maintaining healthy cholesterol levels, though nobody should ever adjust medications without consulting their healthcare provider first. For those dealing with diabetes or insulin resistance, the blood sugar benefits of oats deserve attention too. Beta-glucan slows carbohydrate digestion and glucose absorption, producing more gradual blood sugar increases after meals instead of dramatic spikes that damage blood vessels and accelerate atherosclerosis development over time. The European Food Safety Authority approved health claims stating that consuming 4 grams of beta-glucan per 30 to 80 grams of available carbohydrates significantly reduces post-meal blood sugar spikes. And achieving this benefit requires eating slightly larger portions of oats or consuming them twice daily at different meals for maximum metabolic impact.
Beyond cholesterol and blood sugar, oat consumption promotes beneficial changes in gut bacteria composition. The microbiome plays increasingly recognized roles in cardiovascular health through mechanisms involving inflammation regulation, nutrient production, and immune system modulation. And beta-glucan acts as a prebiotic fiber feeding beneficial bacteria species while starving harmful ones. Short-chain fatty acids produced when gut bacteria ferment beta-glucan include butyrate, acetate, and propionate, and these compounds possess remarkable properties including reducing liver cholesterol production, decreasing systemic inflammation, and improving insulin sensitivity throughout the body, creating widespread metabolic benefits extending far beyond simple cholesterol reduction. Some people worry about getting bored eating the same breakfast daily, but the versatility of oatmeal makes it easily adaptable to different flavor profiles and nutritional combinations. Savory oatmeal topped with vegetables, herbs, and a poached egg provides completely different taste experiences while delivering identical cardiovascular benefits as sweet versions.
Seasonal variations keep things interesting throughout the year. Summer oatmeal with fresh peaches, nectarines, and mint tastes nothing like winter oatmeal with baked apples, raisins, and warming spices. Yet both versions supply the therapeutic beta-glucan doses needed for arterial health maintenance and cardiovascular disease prevention. The temperature doesn't matter either. Cold overnight oats eaten straight from the refrigerator provide the same health benefits as hot cooked oatmeal, making this approach work seamlessly for people living in tropical climates where hot breakfast foods feel unappealing during warm weather, expanding accessibility across different geographical regions and personal preferences. Cost represents another beautiful aspect of this approach. Oats rank among the most affordable foods available anywhere, costing just pennies per serving, even for organic varieties, making heart-healthy eating accessible to people across all economic circumstances, without requiring expensive specialty foods or boutique ingredients that price out average families. Comparing oat consumption to other dietary interventions for cardiovascular health reveals impressive results. While the Mediterranean diet reduces cholesterol by approximately 4 to 6 points on average, oats alone achieve similar results with far less dramatic dietary overhauls, and combining oats with Mediterranean eating patterns produces even more impressive cardiovascular improvements. Research examining intensive lifestyle changes demonstrates that very aggressive dietary modifications can actually shrink existing arterial plaque, and while these programs require significant commitment and radical eating pattern changes, incorporating daily oatmeal as one component makes achieving these results more feasible for people unwilling or unable to completely transform their diets overnight. The timing of oat consumption might influence effectiveness too. Some research suggests eating oats at breakfast provides superior cholesterol-lowering effects compared to evening consumption, possibly because morning meals interact differently with circadian rhythms governing cholesterol metabolism, though more studies are needed to confirm these observations definitively before making strong recommendations.
Portion control matters for people watching their weight, as oats do contain calories and carbohydrates that can contribute to weight gain if consumed in excessive amounts beyond what's needed for therapeutic benefits. 1 cup of cooked oatmeal contains approximately 150 calories, making it relatively modest for a complete meal, especially when topped with protein and healthy fats. Combining oatmeal with other cholesterol-lowering foods creates synergistic effects. Plant sterols found in nuts and seeds, soluble fiber from legumes and apples, and omega-3 fatty acids from fatty fish all work through different mechanisms than beta-glucan, providing complementary benefits that produce greater total cholesterol reduction than any single food could achieve alone. Some individuals might experience digestive adjustments when initially increasing fiber intake dramatically, starting with smaller portions and gradually building up to the full therapeutic dose over 2 to 3 weeks allows the digestive system and gut bacteria to adapt comfortably without causing uncomfortable bloating or changes in bowel habits that might discourage continued consumption.
Drinking adequate water becomes especially important when consuming high-fiber foods. Beta-glucan needs sufficient liquid to form the gel-like consistency, responsible for its cholesterol-binding properties. And inadequate hydration can actually cause digestive discomfort, rather than the smooth, easy digestion that properly hydrated fiber provides throughout the intestinal tract. What about people with gluten sensitivity or celiac disease? Pure oats naturally contain no gluten, but cross-contamination during processing often introduces gluten from wheat, barley, or rye processed in the same facilities, so choosing certified gluten-free oats ensures safety for people with genuine gluten-related disorders requiring strict avoidance. The sustainability angle deserves mention too. Oat cultivation requires significantly less water than many other crops, produces lower greenhouse gas emissions than animal agriculture, and grows successfully in cooler climates where other grains struggle, making oats an environmentally responsible food choice for people concerned about ecological impact of their dietary decisions.
Looking at traditional diets across cultures reveals that populations with historically high oat consumption, particularly in Scotland and Scandinavia, tend to exhibit lower cardiovascular disease rates compared to populations consuming minimal oats, though many other dietary and lifestyle factors also contribute to these patterns beyond oat consumption alone. Modern food technology has created oat-based products beyond traditional oatmeal, including oat milk, oat flour, and even oat-based meat alternatives. And while these products contain beta-glucan, processing often reduces its effectiveness compared to whole oats, making traditional oatmeal preparations superior for people specifically seeking cardiovascular benefits. For athletes and active individuals, oats provide excellent sustained energy through complex carbohydrates that release glucose gradually rather than causing rapid spikes and crashes associated with refined grains and sugars, making morning oatmeal ideal pre-workout fuel that supports performance while simultaneously protecting cardiovascular health during intense exercise. Parents looking to instill healthy habits in children can start them early with oatmeal, creating lifelong eating patterns that protect against cardiovascular disease developing later in adulthood. And research clearly demonstrates that atherosclerosis begins in childhood, making early nutritional intervention through simple foods like oats incredibly valuable for long-term health outcomes. So there it is, the simple oatmeal hack that could genuinely transform cardiovascular health over the coming months and years through consistent daily consumption of properly prepared oats that maximize beta-glucan bioavailability and effectiveness. Soaking oats overnight, choosing steel-cut or thick-rolled varieties over instant options, eating consistent portions providing at least 3 grams of beta-glucan daily, and combining oats with complementary foods like berries, nuts, and cinnamon creates a comprehensive approach to arterial health that research strongly supports.
The beautiful thing about this intervention is its accessibility and simplicity. No prescriptions, no doctor's appointments,
No expensive supplements or complicated protocols that require advanced degrees to understand and implement correctly in daily life. Just oats, water, a little patience for overnight soaking, and commitment to showing up for this simple breakfast ritual every single morning, allowing those consistent small actions to compound into significant health improvements over weeks and months of dedicated practice. For anyone currently dealing with high cholesterol, arterial plaque concerns, family history of heart disease, or simply wanting to take proactive steps protecting cardiovascular health before problems develop, this oatmeal approach deserves serious consideration as a foundational dietary intervention worth implementing immediately. Remember that food alone cannot overcome terrible lifestyle habits. Smoking, chronic stress, sedentary behavior, and consuming excessive amounts of processed foods and added sugars will overwhelm even the most powerful dietary interventions, making comprehensive lifestyle attention necessary for optimal results.
But starting with one bowl of properly prepared oatmeal each morning creates momentum, builds confidence, and often inspires additional healthy changes that compound over time into complete lifestyle transformations that dramatically reduce cardiovascular disease risk across multiple pathways simultaneously. If this information sparks some curiosity or provided value, hitting that like button helps the algorithm show this content to other people who might benefit from simple, science-backed health advice that actually works without requiring extreme measures or impossible-to-maintain protocols. Subscribing to Health Bloom ensures these practical health insights keep appearing in the feed every week when new episodes drop, covering topics ranging from nutrition and exercise to stress management and disease prevention for folks over 40 wanting to maximize health span and vitality. Sharing this video with friends, family members, or anyone dealing with cholesterol concerns or heart disease worries could genuinely help someone make changes that extend their life or prevent a devastating cardiovascular event that alters their future forever.
Drop a comment below sharing experiences with oatmeal, questions about implementation, or topics for future episodes that would help navigate the journey toward better health and longevity using practical, accessible strategies that fit into real life. And here's a question to ponder while leaving that comment. What other simple, inexpensive foods sitting in pantries right now might possess remarkable health-promoting properties that most people completely overlook or underestimate in their daily dietary choices? The next episode explores another fascinating topic that could change how everyone thinks about a common health concern, so make sure to turn on notification bells to catch that video the moment it goes live next week. Until then, stay healthy, stay curious, and remember that small, consistent actions compound into remarkable results over time when given patience and persistence to work their magic. Thanks for spending this time together exploring how something as simple as oatmeal can become a powerful tool for cardiovascular protection and arterial health maintenance throughout the decades ahead.